Was he a planted actor or a once-in-a-generation miracle? In 2026, Matty Juniosa broke every rule in BGT history, receiving 2 golden buzzers and a West End contract simultaneously. But behind the standing ovations, a storm of conspiracy theories is erupting. Is he a product of TV manipulation or a living legend born from the pubs of Glasgow? Today we separate the internet noise from the explosive truth. The double life of the Glasgow server. Imagine clearing tables in a quiet Glasgow cafe on a Monday and becoming the most searched person on the planet by Friday. This is the reality for Matty Juniosa, a man who has completely flipped the script on what it means to be a prepared contestant in 2026. While most performers walk onto the Britain's Got Talent stage with nothing but a dream, Matty arrived with a tactical blueprint that would make a corporate CEO blush. Recent investigative reports into his background have exposed a shocking level of dedication. He didn't just practice his scales. He spent the last 3 years studying Simon Cowell like a scientific subject. Living in Scotland as a part-time waiter, he dedicated his late-night hours to deconstructing hundreds of hours of archival footage. He wasn't just looking for songs. He was decoding the specific emotional triggers and vocal arrangements that historical winners used to bypass the harsh critiques of the judging panel. This wasn't a hobby for him. It was a calculated escape from a life of obscurity and financial struggle. He even mastered the specific dry humor prevalent in UK media to ensure his personality was as marketable as his high notes. This level of psychological preparation is almost unheard of in reality TV history, making his meteoric rise feel less like a stroke of luck and more like a carefully executed heist of the British public's heart. He knew exactly which notes would trigger the golden response he needed, and he knew exactly how to pivot when the live TV pressure began to mount. But as this secret strategy began to pay off in ways no one expected, a massive controversy was brewing behind the scenes that threatened to overturn the entire competition. History wasn't just made this month. It was shattered when a judge decided to completely ignore the official rules of the competition. On April 25, 2026, Matty Juniosa delivered a rendition of Aerosmith Dream on that was so powerful it caused a literal crisis for the show's production team. Typically, the semifinals are a strictly democratic process where the British public holds the power to vote through their favorites. However, Amanda Holden was so captivated by Matty's vocal range, a performance many are calling a masterclass in vocal control, that she refused to let his fate stay in the hands of the audience. In a move that sent shockwaves through social media, she bypassed the standard voting procedure and slammed her golden buzzer for a second time. This created an unprecedented situation where one contestant secured 2 separate golden buzzers in a single season. The atmosphere in the studio was electric, but the reaction online was immediate and deeply polarized. Fans of other contestants began to cry foul, claiming that producers' favoritism was ruining the integrity of the show's voting system. Amanda even admitted to the cameras that the executive team had explicitly told her not to press the button. Yet, she defied them anyway, exposing a rift between the judges and the production staff. This rule-breaking moment has led to intense speculation about whether the show is being steered toward a specific winner to boost international ratings. While Matty's talent is undeniable, the decision to force him into the final has left a bitter taste for some viewers who believe the public's voice was silenced for the sake of a viral moment. Yet, as the praise poured in, a much darker problem was beginning to surface outside the studio walls. Just as Matty reached the peak of his career, a predatory threat emerged that forced his team to issue an emergency public warning. On April 29, 2026, the joy of the final countdown was cut short when reports surfaced of a sophisticated scam targeting Matty's rapidly growing fan base. A fake social media presence masquerading as the singer's official management began exploiting his newfound fame to deceive the public. This wasn't just a simple fan page. It was a coordinated effort to spread misinformation and harm his supporters through fraudulent links and financial deceptions. Matty took to his legitimate platforms to expose the fraud, pleading with his followers to report the page immediately to prevent further victimization. This revealed the ugly reality of viral fame in the digital age, where success is often immediately met with criminal opportunism. The situation grew so serious that international news outlets picked up the story, highlighting the vulnerability of artists who go viral overnight. For a man who was just a waiter weeks ago, navigating this digital minefield has been a shocking wake-up call that has reportedly taken a toll on his mental focus. This controversy has cast a significant shadow over his rehearsals for the final, as he now has to balance his vocal training with the legal and personal stress of protecting his reputation from impersonators. Some insiders suggest that this distraction is the last thing he needs as he faces the most important performance of his life. But for those who have followed his journey from the beginning, they know that Matty is no stranger to hardship and challenges. In fact, his entire career has been defined by his ability to overcome rejection and defeat. Before he was the golden boy of British television, Matty Juniosa was officially labeled a loser in a different competition back home. It's a detail that many of his new UK fans might not know, but Matty's journey actually began years ago on Idol Philippines. Back in 2019, he was a hopeful contestant who managed to make it to the top 12 only to be eliminated in a way that left his dreams in tatters. He has since admitted that for a long time he carried the heavy stigma of being a failed reality star. The rejection was so deep that he felt he had to flee his home country entirely to reinvent himself in the West. This led to his relocation to Glasgow, Snorts, where he pursued musical theater under a different name to escape his past shame. This transition was anything but glamorous. He had to support himself through manual labor and service jobs, balancing his artistic soul with the grueling reality of survival. He worked in the local theater scene, taking roles in productions like Kinky Boots, all while keeping his eye on the ultimate goal, a second chance at redemption. The fact that he is now a frontrunner on a global stage like BGT is a poetic victory over his past failures. However, this narrative of the struggling immigrant has also drawn criticism from skeptics who believe his professional theater background gives him an unfair advantage over the amateur acts. Is he truly an underdog? Or is he a seasoned pro who is simply too experienced for this type of show? As the debate rages on, the pressure on Matty to deliver a perfect performance is reaching a boiling point, and the questions about the show's inner workings are only getting louder. As the finale approaches, the whispers of a rigged competition have turned into a full-blown outcry among the show's most vocal critics. The controversy stems from the unprecedented support Matty has received from the judges, particularly the power duo of Simon Cowell and Amanda Holden. In the history of Britain's Got Talent, few contestants have ever been shielded from the public vote in the way Matty was during the semifinals. This has led to serious accusations that the show's producers have already handpicked their winner to maximize the brand's international expansion. Critics point to the high-budget production value of his sets, including a full backup choir and expensive lighting rigs, as evidence that he is receiving more creative resources than other acts. Some have even gone so far as to suggest that his backstory was curated by the network to maximize emotional impact. While it's common for reality shows to have judges' favorites, the intensity of the push for Matty has left many wondering if the competition aspect of the show is still authentic. On social media, the hashtag BGTExposed began trending, with viewers venting their frustration over the perceived lack of fairness. Despite this, Matty's supporters argue that his vocals are simply so superior that the judges had no choice but to fast-track him to ensure the best talent wins. They believe he is a once-in-a-generation talent who deserves every advantage he gets. But with the public now feeling sidelined, the pressure is on Matty to prove that he can win the hearts of the viewers without the intervention of the judges. If he fails to secure the majority vote, it could reveal a massive disconnect between the producers and the audience. Will Matty Juniosa become the first Filipino to ever win Britain's Got Talent? Or will the scandals of this month be his ultimate downfall? As we stand on the precipice of the Season 19 finale, the stakes have never been higher for the man from Glasgow. Matty has already achieved what most only dream of: becoming a viral sensation and securing a place in the history books. But the road ahead is uncertain and filled with legal and emotional obstacles. The impersonation issues, the rigging allegations, and the immense pressure of representing two different nations have created a perfect storm of high expectations. Regardless of the outcome, Matty has transformed himself from a waiter into a global icon. He has proven that rejection in one's past does not have to define their future. But as the final curtain prepares to rise, we must ask, Is the world ready for a winner who engineered his own success through meticulous research and calculated moves? Or will the audience rebel against the narrative that has been pushed so aggressively by the network this month? One thing is undeniable. Matty Juniosa is a force to be reckoned with, and his impact on the music industry is just beginning. As he steps onto that stage for the last time, he isn't just singing for a trophy. He's singing for the validation he's been seeking for nearly a decade. Whether he wins the grand prize or finishes as a runner-up, the update on his life this month has been nothing short of stunning. The question remains after the confetti clears, what will be the lasting legacy of the man who broke the rules of Britain's Got Talent? Only the final vote will reveal the truth.